All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started with the Evidence IQ, unlocking the power of real-time ballistics intelligence. My name is Don Serrano, and I am with Evidence IQ. I've been with the company since 2019. Prior to being here, I was with ATF, and we're really excited to talk with you about our new feature that we have set up here called Automated Potential Link. You should see at the bottom of your screen, there is a section for questions and answers. If you have a question throughout the presentation, you can type it in there, but I will be holding answering all questions until the end. So let's roll. Automated potential link. What is it and why did we go with that? Ever since we started the company, we have had it a goal of ours that we always want to innovate. We are always pushing the envelope and trying to see what can we do in the field of forensics and ballistics to make it better for our agencies and better for the users. And most importantly, better for solving gun crime. We've known since we first started this that the need to get the intelligence in the hands of the agencies and the investigators as quickly as we can has been our number one priority. And that is why we have really been working over the last couple of years to get this automated potential link search feature up and rolling. To be able to identify for the users firearms that have been used in multiple instances in near real time is what we've been able to do. Because we all know, and we've been able to show that faster links between shooting incidents result in closing cases faster, arresting the shooters, getting them off the street before they can shoot again, which will lead to a reduction in gun crime. So first, let's talk about the legacy rapid ballistics process. For those of you that are familiar with Ballistics IQ, and there may be a couple of people who are not, the way the system works, you scan recovered cartridge casings into our Ballistics IQ capture station. It takes about 30 seconds per cartridge case to scan. Once you've scanned those in, the system will automatically run for you a crime scene analysis, or a CSA, triage report. That triage report gives you some actionable intelligence right off the bat. First, it's going to tell you how many different firearms you have at that scene. So as we all know, witnesses may be confused, not give us the right information, but to be able to know that you've got, of these 20 cartridge casings recovered at the scene, 8 are from one gun and 12 are from a second, that's key intel that you need to know. And it's also going to tell you which are the best cartridge casing from each identified firearm for entry into the national database. So with our rapid ballistics program, you could take that crime scene analysis triage report. At the very bottom there's a send button. You hit send, and that is going to go to one of our 20 firearms examiners. And they would look within the system to see if there are any links between shooting incidents. When you click that send button, you would be charged one of your rapid ballistics cases that either were included with your subscription or you purchased afterwards. When that gets sent to the examiner, they would manually search the Ballistics IQ gallery to look for any links. They would use our virtual comparison microscope, and they would do a side-by-side comparison of those images that they thought that were links between shooting incidents. And then they would provide the user back a reviewed CSA report. And if there was an identified potential link, they would get that potential link report back to them. On average, they were getting those reports back in under 4 hours. If you happen to see our LinkedIn page earlier today, we highlighted a success story where we provided somebody on a homicide case in 12 minutes. On a weekend, we were able to give them a potential link. Now, what is automated potential link? This new feature that we have incorporated. Well, what that does is automate a lot of the process behind the scenes. As with always, it starts with the fired cartridge case. You've got to recover those cartridge casings at the scene and scan them into Ballistics IQ. You will run your CSA report as you have done in the past, but now the system will automatically take the cartridge case that's best identified for entry into NIBIN in the national database. If there's just one gun identified on the CSA report, or if you have a CSA report with 3 different firearms, it's going to take the cartridge case identified for each of those unique firearms and automatically search the gallery behind the scenes to look for any links. Once it finds any of those links, what it can be, it's going to see if those are going to be grouped together, meaning if the algorithm is able to say, yes, that these are grouped. Notification is made within minutes to the user. During our test phase, we had some users that were notified in about 30 seconds that there was a APL found. Other times depends on how many CSA or how many FCCs are on the CSA report. It could take up to a half hour to get that notification, but it all just depends on the number of FCCs on that CSA report. So the way it's going to work, you're going to run that CSA report. It's going to automatically search in the background. And then the user, you would get an automatic email that's going to say there might be a potential link associated with case number, let's say 2025-12345 and cartridge case number 5. It's also going to say click here if you would like to submit that for automatic potential link for review. What that does, you're going to click that here button, and it's going to open up that traditional window that you would see when you were submitting a rapid ballistics case, where you'd fill out the report number, if it's an urgent search or a routine one, notes to the examiners, and hit send. When you send that to the examiners, that's going to go to one of our 20 plus firearms examiners that work for us. And our examiners, they work 24/7, 365. So when you submit this, it is going to come to them. The first examiner will take a look at the probe image and then the ones that have been associated with it with the automatic potential link. If there is what they view as a potential link, they are going to write that report up and actually forward it to a second examiner. That second examiner is going to verify that information and then provide that if it is a verified potential link, you will receive a verified potential link report. And I've got an example of one up on the screen. For my legacy customers, the reports you used to receive were just a potential link report. We've added the word verified in there, and we've added a little caveat at the top saying that this report has been independently reviewed by 2 different examiners. They have reviewed the images and concur based on the markings that these 2 FCCs are associated and linked together. The great thing about our new automated potential link search feature is you are only charged a rapid ballistics case if a potential link is found. With the legacy rapid ballistics program, every time you submitted a CSA report, you were charged a rapid ballistics case. In 2024, we were averaging about 37% of the time we were finding, when a CSA was submitted, we were finding a potential link. What we've been able to show now, when the system generates an automated potential link and the user receives that email, 90% of the time, it's got a 90% accuracy rate, meaning when that is reviewed by our examiners, 9 out of 10 times when the system says that there is a potential link, that they've reviewed it and it is a verified potential link. So we've gone from taking a concept that we wanted to do and push this out to where it's showing about a 90% accuracy rate. Um, and kudos to our team. And we're working on this engine and the algorithms to make this as high as an accuracy rate, because that's what we want to do, is provide you the quickest information that we can and the most accurate. But the big thing is, if you submit it and it's not a potential link, the examiners review it and say, you know, if the system looked at it, it possibly grouped it, but under further review, it's not a link, you're not charged. So the great thing about it is you can just keep submitting them, and you know 9 out of 10 times you're going to get that verified potential link. Now, there's also another way that you can submit your an automated potential link. Uh, let's say you ran that CSA report and that email is going to come back to the user that submitted that CSA report. And let's say they left for the day or they're on leave. No need to worry about that. It doesn't end with that person. There's not a single point of failure. You will see when you log into your dashboard that there is a new feature on there that says APL submitted, APL generated. What this means is the system has generated 4 automated potential links. And currently the agency has submitted 0. But no problem at all. You don't have to go back and try to find that email or anything like that. You just go to your CSA reports page, that icon that's on your desktop. When you click that, as you know, every CSA that is run is saved. So when you open up that CSA log, you're going to see a list, and I just screenshotted the top one here. You're going to see a list of all the CSAs that have been run. You just need to look for this little double arrow icon, meaning that it's showing a potential link. Right now, when you go in, you're going to see that those are blue. We're actually working with the team, and we're doing a change on those. So when you log in the near future, when you see these, if it's red, it means it has not been submitted to be reviewed. If it's green, it has been submitted to be reviewed. So if you want to submit it to be reviewed, you would just click on this double arrow icon here, and it's going to pull up this window here, giving you the information that there's a automated potential link, this case number, this item number. Click here to submit. You'll click here. It's going to open up that flyout menu that you would fill out when traditionally submitting something to the Rapid Ballistics team, and you hit submit. To check if one has been submitted, if you click on that button again, if it has been submitted, you'll see this here, that it already has been submitted. So there's no need to submit that again. When it comes back, you would get that in your, if there is a automated potential link, you'll get that back in an email, just as you currently do now. And it will be listed in your Rapid Ballistics icon page. We do have a couple of additional information that we want to talk about with the APL. It works on all calibers except 223, 556, and your AR types. We don't have the engine working or the algorithms for the shot shell and rimfire yet for CSA reports. So those are not working as of yet. So if you have a case where you have 223 and 556, and the reason why it's not working on the APL, the same reason that the auto orientation is not function yet for the 223 and 556. They just, as a lot of you know, they don't mark very well. There's no drag marks. There's no shear marks. Identifying the ejector mark, if it's a reload. So they just take a little, it can be harder for the human to do. And so the engine, we're constantly working with that to make it better. But if you have a case where it's, you have 223, 556, 300 blackout, you know, Creedmoor, AR types, you will need to submit those under the traditional or the legacy CSA Rapid Ballistics team. You run the CSA report and then hit the submit button at the bottom. Under the legacy program, when you would submit a CSA report, they'll review the CSA report, and examiners could provide information about possible firearms manufacturer and information. That information is not going to be provided with the APL. Since this is automated, this is about getting the agencies that links as quickly as we can. As with anything, you can always submit the CSAs to the Rapid Ballistics team if you want something done right now or it's an urgent case, and you don't want to wait for the system to do that automatically. You can submit this, and those will actually, the way the system works, it's going to run the APLs in the background. But if somebody submits one directly, those get bumped to the head of the line, because that's a more crucial instant that the agency wants that run. Moving on here, we're going to talk about a couple other of our Ballistics IQ offerings and investigative tools. We have our single scanner that has been out for numerous years. And we also just released our multi-scanner last year that scans 20 cartridge casings at a time. Really speeds up the process. We have several agencies that are testing this right now, and several that have purchased it already. So the multi-scanner, very easy. You slide open the side. There's two holders that hold 10 cartridge case each. You slide those in. The same 30 seconds each per cartridge case, but you're able to do 20 at a time. We have our confirmatory services to help those agencies that may have a little backlog at their lab, or the information they need to get a warrant is taking a little longer. So with our confirmatory services, if you have a Ballistics IQ potential link, or let's say a NIBIN lead, you would be able to send those pieces of evidence to one of our examiners that we would identify for you. They will review the evidence under a comparison microscope. That examiner will write his or her report. It'll be peer reviewed by a second examiner, and then that report will be submitted back to you. Our goal is to get those to you in under 5 business days, and we've been able to meet those and help out a lot of agencies that need something done like right now. We're also working with some laboratories and some other agencies to help them on their backlog reductions. That if they've got a lot of cases that are sitting in the backlog, non-high priority, no victim, no witness type shooting, but they have evidence that they need to actually be reviewed. We're working with our examiners and the agencies to help reduce that backlog that they have. We have our integrations with Ballistics IQ, meaning that we integrate with Finder, with Fusus, with Flock, with Peregrine, Lucidus. We're working with Motorola. So if you have any of those, the BIQ, all your data from your scans, your metadata, your images, all your potential link information is automatically uploaded into those systems. So you're able to use that as a force multiplier for all of your investigations to be able to show, here's my ballistics data layered with my CAD RMS, my ALPR, other video, all that is able to be layered, and you're able to see that in one location. And last but not least, before I open it up for if there's any other questions, with our sister company, Trusted Technology Solutions, we have our T500 body-worn camera that we've announced last year at IACP. It's really affordable, lightweight, small, all-in-one solution that we're able to help out a lot of smaller agencies with. So if this is something that you would like to learn more about, either the body-worn camera or the multi-scanner or confirmatory services, backlog, anything, do not hesitate to reach out to us and we will get back with you. So I'm going to jump over to some of the questions that we have. Um, is this something that can be used in a crime lab setting with its own examiners? Is there a way to skip the verifying and charges associated with verification? Yes, Kurt. Um, if an agency has firearms examiners, they have the option of getting the comparison tool software as part of their package. There is a minor upcharge for that where they would get all of the comparison tools. So they would be able to look for their own links. They would be able to do what's called an internal potential link report. So you'd be able to take that probe image, search for links, write that report, and provide it to your own agency. So yes, that is a feature that we do offer to agencies. Uh, no, our 7.62 caliber is excluded from APL. No, they are part of the APL automatic search feature. I have a question. Can admin personnel get the APL notifications along with the person that entered them originally? Yes, we are working on that. If you remember, or if you know, when you under the profile, you can pick a group of individuals that receive all potential link reports and CSA reports back from the Rapid Ballistics team. We are adding that feature in there, and that should be out shortly as well. And we'll let everybody know through a TEB, a technical enhancement bulletin, when that feature is live, where you can pick, instead of it falling that automatic email going to the person that scanned it in and hit the CSA report, that it can go to a group of individuals. I wanted to keep this to about 30 minutes or so. Are there any other questions, or does Matt, my CEO, does he want to have any closing comments before we wrap it up? I'll take that as a no. Well, again, I appreciate everybody coming on. I wanted to, I know it's set for an hour, but I wanted to keep it short and sweet to basically tell everybody about how the new APL feature works. I know the TEB went out, but sometimes they may not get read as quickly as we can. This is being recorded, so we're going to look at posting this as well. Also on the Teachable site, when individuals go in, both in the first time triage school as also with the refresher class, there is a 3-minute video on how the APL feature works and how to acquire them and submit them. So that has been added to the Teachable Ballistics IQ triage lesson. Well, I'm going to put it out. This is the last chance. Any other questions before we wrap it up? Give it a 10-second countdown here. 5. All right. Well, hey, thanks again, everybody at Ballistics IQ and Evidence IQ. Our goal is to continue to reduce gun crime by 50% by 2035. So thank you so much for everything that you do. We're all in this fight together to cut and reduce gun crime. Thanks again, and have a great day.